Yo, what is going on, people? How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the stream, the Friday stream, so to speak. Thursday is the new Friday, as I do not trade Friday, so this will be my last stream of the week. But welcome back to the New York session. Hopefully we can find something like we did yesterday and end this week on an even more positive note than it already is. It's been a tough week, but managed to come out ahead. So I'm definitely pumped up to see what we can get going today. As always, real quickly, let me knock this out here. Little disclaimer. Trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential in trading all financial markets. If you do not have an understanding of proper risk management, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. Content I provide is for general information purposes only, as well as entertainment, and should not be interpreted as advice, investment, financial, or otherwise, as I am not a financial services provider. However, if you choose to follow along with any of my trade positions, just know that you do so at your own risk. Now, let's see what we got going on today in the market. How's everybody making out? Anybody got any trade positions they're in, have taken, profitable, down? How are we feeling today? So we'll start at the top with AU. See where we're at. I haven't really looked at the market too much. You can see it kind of had this, as we drew yesterday, kind of had like this descending channel. And it was just so choppy, but then kind of finally broke under it and then came back and retested the zone and then just fizzled for the rest of the day. So there wasn't really anything there. So it looks right now. Jorge, good morning, brother. How are you? How are you making out, my friend? Nice to have you back. So let's see. You look like you're trying to kind of still get back up to this, but it's still kind of rangy. Kind of breaking under this level that we've had this level drawn from forever. I don't even know when we drew this. I'd have to go back, but you can see how it's just so still relevant. Looks like you're kind of breaking under it. Got like a nice push on this last hour, kind of through on the TDI. Nice breakdown, but we'll keep an eye on it as it hasn't really cleared this yet. But maybe we see some momentum on AU to the downside. We have been seeing a dollar index rise. Yeah, you can see kind of like you're still in this Asian range. So I'd definitely like to get out of that range before I trade it, but definitely short. I'll jump to the dollar index. You can see dollar index has been rising. Still probable to move higher up to these highs here. Maybe potentially a full reset, uncertain, but at least this high is probably still in play. So this is still moving up. So as that moves up, we're going to see AU, EU, GU potentially move down. Just depends which pair. AU definitely still has its ADR in play. Yeah, well within play. EA. Oops. Still in this range. Just, this is bizarre. And I know this is a big box that we have drawn. As far as like the height of it, but look at how well it's just, I leave it like that because look at how well it's respecting it. If it was breaking out of it, then this wouldn't be relevant. You had one push out of it here. You had one position the other day that I tried to take and it just didn't get through, and still just chopping along. And here's what it looks like on a daily. We've been trying to see it as it's holding this level, trying to come lower to retest these lows because it's still in a selling condition, trying to maybe reset down here at this daily 800, but it just hasn't broke out. But I'll tell you, when this thing breaks out, it's going to break into something fierce. I just know it's going to. So today's probably not that day, so don't know if I'm going to trade that. But again, it's like anything else. We just wait and see what it does. Keep an eye on it, but not really a fan of that. EU yesterday was, it kind of was fizzling yesterday in here where I was looking to trade it short, and that's why I got in GU, because GU seemed to have more potential. But again, this just kind of came down, consolidated, didn't break its highs, kind of respected this level. So it's a break and retest, and then it broke out again, retested, and then just been falling. This is nearly tapped at ADR from where it's been. It's got about another 22 from where it's at currently, about 40. So there's still space in this to come lower, but you're going to need to see a pullback and then another drop to try and get to these lows. So not sure, but clearly in a downtrend. It's definitely coming down. On the daily, looks like it kind of broke under this level, held for the 2 days, and then now it's coming right back down. What I might be inclined to say, because this is still in an uptrend, and I do believe that this is like a correction, you might see it maybe come back as find like a resistance and then move higher. I don't want to get away from the uptrend that it's been doing. I don't really quite feel this is a downtrend. On the daily, on the lower time frames, you might start to see structure as this is failing to make a new high, but to me it's still in an uptrend. But short term, intraday, could find some sells. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's kind of almost smashed through its ADR. Could potentially see it try and get down here, down to like 70, retest these lows. Why would it not? Seems like a probable place. Might not get there today. Maybe it does. Maybe it gets down to this 800 today. Still gonna stay short on it. It's not divergent. It's in a selling condition perfectly. To me, I'm gonna try and look to short it if I can. GJ. Been a little choppy this week. You can see it's kind of just between these two ranges we have drawn. And I believe this is the pair I said you might see that, just kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, see how it's kind of just broke into this range and now it's just between it. Kind of struck it the 21st. Was that like Friday, Sunday? Something like that. 19 was Friday. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's the 25th. So whatever. This was like Monday-ish, and now it's kind of not really sure what to make of this pair, because like we said, it's definitely chopping. I know it fell off yesterday here, but then now it's just reset itself back to this level in here. Looks like it's trying to be in a buying condition, kind of like a horizontal level like this. See how you kind of have that, like kind of like an ascending channel, and then it broke the channel. Now it's above the channel. My belief of analysis would be that it would then hold this level as like a resistance, support, if you will, support, and then push off. Deet, what is going on? How are you? Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. How you making out today? So I definitely think that is a choppy pair at the moment. But as you said, if it's breaking this channel and now using this channel as support, perhaps it moves up, but I'm not sure because it's just choppy. So we'll see. And then GU was my winner yesterday at 10:35. It was in this candle right here on the 5-minute. Was right here. This candle right here I took and just broke down, came back up, kind of held, and then broke down again. And you can see it consolidated, it broke a level, and it's just making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it just kind of found a little bit of you know, consolidation towards the end of the day. Pulls back up, still under, so potentially to come lower. But this was clean structure, just like it was kind of giving me, if you were in the stream, what's up, Moogie? How are you, brother? Welcome back, welcome back. It was clearly making lower trending structure on the 5-minute, but when you went to the 15-minute, what happened was it did, where's it at? This right here, couldn't find it. It pushed down in that candle that I first got into, and then the next candle, it pushed all the way down, and then left this wick and like this hammer, and I was like, oh man, tell me this thing is just gonna like shit out on me and like turn around and push up. But I moved my stop to break even, and then I moved it a little bit in profit. I believe that on how it was in a selling condition, everything was this price, which is the RSI, that represents price, relative strength index. Everything was falling. So I stayed with it, and then the next candle just bang, smashed, and took me to take profit. And then from there, it really didn't get much lower. And now we're kind of back up in this fold. It was divergent, and that's why you're seeing it kind of like pull off. Made a high here. I'm still going to try and see this thing come lower, in my opinion, because again, as the dollar index um, is rising, I'm looking to see dollar quote pairs come lower, like an AU, an EU, a GU come lower, as this is potentially moving higher, dollar index. So I want to stay EU short, GU short, potentially GU more because it might have more space on ADR pockets. Good morning, brother. Welcome back on. How you feeling? How you making out? You can see now it's actually starting to get a little bit of momentum. Getting a nice 5-minute candle here. It's early. I don't want to take a trade this early, but you could see it. It's kind of falling down, looking like you could see some momentum, but not yet. I'm not going to trade this just yet. Um, it's it's looking nice already as we're looking at it. It's got plenty of space on ADR. I mean, look at, you can't even see it yet as I'm peeling the chart. Like, so much space compared to EU. Yeah, 83 pips to ADR on GU. Much, much more than the 20 something we have on EU. This is looking nice, actually. You can see like you're falling. It hasn't, oh man. I, I'd like to see this come lower, obviously, as the dollar index moves. Oh, sorry, punching the mic. Don't have Jorge. It would be nice to see GU break those lows and retest. What do you think? I think you know exactly how I like to trade. I would like to see a break and retest for more confidence. I don't want to try and take like an initial breakout because it could look like it's coming lower, but as you can see, like sentiment is kind of rising a little bit at the moment. It's correcting off of the divergence, so I don't know that it's not going to hit here and hold and act as like a higher low from this and then move up again to test this level before coming down. I'd love to see it just, break, retest, and then give me another bearish signal and then take it lower. You're in GU. All right, then are you in from up top here at these highs? Because that would be good. I definitely see the potential for this to come lower. You know what I mean? I don't want to, you know, you can see the rejection on the hour, how it pulled up and now it's coming all the way back down. There's definitely potential for this to come lower. I don't know if it's at this candle, and I know that I've been taking trades before 9 o'clock and before like even 9:30, and I've been losing them. I won one, but I've lost two. So it seems like at this time frame, it's not always a guarantee. That's the 845 close right there. Sitting on the zone, didn't really engulf it. Pretty decent 5-minute candle. It might fall. If it falls, it falls. I'll try and look to grab a retest on it, like a correction. I can't take this right now. I just got on. I'm not trying to jump into a trade this early. If it goes, then whatever, it goes. I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, I'm not having the best of luck with taking like these really early sessions. Right now it's in the middle of the range, so continuation could break and retest. Sure, 100%. Yeah, I definitely, and it might go. Maybe it goes, you know what I mean? Or maybe it just kind of, that's a good entry and maybe it like fizzles and then never stops you out and then falls. If that's the case, I'll find another entry. I would definitely like to see it break through these lows, um, and then retest and then continue. And like I said, it's a pretty good entry. I'm not gonna lie, you know. We want to see it come to the downside. This is a pretty nice formation. Looks like it's falling, but I'm just not ready to jump into anything just yet. I'm gonna give this market a little bit of time. And if it just blasts and I miss it, then hey, whatever. It's just what it is. But it shouldn't. You should never be afraid to miss a trade like it's gonna run without you. The train never leaves without you. As long as you're paying attention, you can always get back in and find a re-entry. So we're gonna be patient on it. Anything can happen. And this dollar index looks like it's trying to come higher, so that's gonna, push pairs lower. You know, these pairs look like they want to come lower. I just don't. I don't know that I'm ready to jump in yet. But it's pretty clean. It's, you can read the risk, you can see the entry, you know where your stop should be, but I'm gonna play a little safer. I'm gonna wait. I'm in no hurry today. I'm up on the week. I had a really, really nice winner. If you guys didn't see yesterday, I'm sure a lot of you did. Crushed it. 4%. Great, great trade, great rip. And I'd like to keep it going. This trade would have never, even if I held it in, like if I was like swinging type of thing, this would have never stopped me out because my entry was at 60 and my stop was at 75 all the way up here. So had I kept the original stop and original entry, this would have never pulled back. It's kind of interesting that it pulled back to 60. Kind of shows it as like a pretty significant level. And now it's trying to push lower. So yeah, you can see you're getting some extension. It's cool. Thanks, Pockets, man. It was a little sketchy. I won't lie. I definitely was expressing my emotions, but I made really logical choices in how I moved my stop, and so I did everything logical. Even though my mind was scrambling, I still was able to keep my sense about me, read the chart cleanly, stay in the trade, protect my capital, and it wound up working out for me. So I was very fortunate and very happy, and looking to do it again today. I like GU again. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm definitely going to keep my eyes around the market and see what else shakes out. Like we said, if the dollar index is indeed going to come higher, as it looks like it's trying to, a little bit divergence, but it's still in a buying condition. Wouldn't be calling a sells on this yet. You know what I mean? Still making highs. And as that happens, then, GU, EU, AU should come lower. You might see EA continue upward if AU starts coming down, but I don't know. We're going to give it some time. News, no news. There's nothing for the rest of the day, so we don't even need this. There was some at 8:30 with some core durables. Mid-impact, as you can see, it really didn't even affect the market. Just kind of 50-50 on it. Some up, some down, some even. So news today is nothing unless anything breaks. That's it. Anybody looking at anything today? Any pairs that everybody for the most part, knows that these are the only 5 pairs I look at, but is anybody peeking around at anything else today? Anything else jumping out at you? Let's take a look. And this is an hour time frame. Just been a really choppy market. CAD CHF, kind of like in a downtrending structure, a little bit divergent. AUD USD looks good. Yeah, it definitely looks like it has potential to come down. You see how this hour candle kind of like pushed real strong right to the lows. It's wicking back. Let's give it 9 minutes and see how this candle closes. But oh, excuse me, you can see how it kind of like broke, and this is like a retest a little bit. Now it's like starting to push lower. Again, if the dollar index is going to keep moving higher, then you should see this pair come lower. It's got space on ADR. You can see ADR is all the way down here on the upper right hand portion of my screen. You know, it's got 61. So GU has the biggest for the USD pairs, then AU, and then EU's almost tapped. Just watching for a good setup. Hey man, that's the best way to do it. Just try and wait. It's the hardest part. Yeah, EuroCAD from when we had drawn this, I guess on like Monday or so. I don't remember when it was, and you can see like it just broke up and out. This pair's been really shitty. I've been seeing a lot of people have been posting stuff and hitting me up like taking L's on EuroCAD. It's just not been a great pair. EJ ranging. GA kind of like in an ascending channel, if you will. Like this. You can see it just bounce, 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 bounce. GCAD. Same thing. GBPs are going to be interesting today. Because GJ looks like it's trying to come higher, but GU looks like it's trying to come lower. You had a nice hour candle here on GU, as you can see, kind of up, pins, pins, pins. It's very choppy. And a strong bearish candle pulls all the way back up, and then it's pushing all the way back down with 6 minutes left. It's through on the trend line. Hasn't cleared the lows yet, though, but looks promising to come to the downside. Obviously, my targets would be like the extreme lows down here at like 123.46, something like that. But in my opinion, I'd like to see it break down, maybe hit this area here, you know, pull off for a correction and then continuation. You're getting a little bit of extension off that 5-minute entry, but it's wicking. So I feel like it was pretty good to hold. And let's let New York open up, and then we'll try and make a play on it. You got bit last night. On which pair? If it might have been one I went over. Were you trading Asia or London? NCDs look like they're trying to come lower. Yeah, see UCAD. So the USD pairs might be looking like they're trying to come higher potentially. Yeah, you can see everything's like starting to rise. So that would keep our bias to the downside for our AN. Yeah, tight stops are, they're good and bad. They're double-edged swords. Timing is everything. 2120. Yeah, right in here. Ah, I see. It had like a lot of like pullback. It was still falling, but was it a 5-minute entry? As you said, 20, 2120. Yep. Damn. That's tough. Did it entry was on a 5-minute? Yeah. Did you get in at 2120 or did you get bopped at 2120 with these pins? And I see like these pins back here, like where like maybe a spread could have got you as these pulled back. That's hard though. It's a good level. Yeah, it sucks, man. You had direction. Clearly it fell. Yeah, it's like a lot of pins, making it hard. Got pushed out. Nah, it sucks, man. I feeling for you on that one. I've been there. All right, let's see what's going on. So GU's just sitting. EU correcting up, which is good. I want to see these pairs correct before more continuation. Definitely short biased. Um, EA. Look like it's trying to move down. So it's gonna be interesting. I have my biases, but it's only 6 pip stop loss. Yeah, I mean, well, that pair you don't really need a huge stop because it's not like really high volatilities. Or yeah, so 6 pips doesn't seem unheard of for that pair at all. Just you can't equate for like spread or pins or getting pushed out like you said. A little bit divergent here on the 5-minute on the pound. Like I said, you might, these pairs have been so choppy. And of course, we want to stay, short biased because we still believe that the dollar index, or at least I believe, I say we, but it's me. I still believe that, this is in a buying potential to come up. It cleared this level here. Maybe it uses as support. You're still ultimately trying to get to the highs. It's a little bit divergent, but structurally still making new highs. So you would think that this would maybe pull back, find an area of support, and then continue back to the upside. And as that happens, then you're going to see these pairs pull up as well, find an area of resistance, and then try and push back down. And if they don't look like they're going to push back down, then there's nothing you can do about it. You have to wait for that confirmation. CJ, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's your day making out? You're rarely wrong. It's usually stop loss that screws me. Well, then maybe that's something that you might want to understand about your trading. Like, hey, like for me, like I said, I'm not going to take this GU trade, even though it looks promising. But lately, if I get in trades before 9 or anything like that, I'm getting beat. So I don't take the position. If you're like, you know what, like I'm usually getting bopped on my stop loss, why don't I take an extra 3 or 5 or something like that? Give me a little more space. I'll go for a little more distance because I know if I'm really solid on my direction, then I should, keep my 1%, half percent, whatever, 1.5% risk, whatever your risk is. And then that extra, if it's AN, give it an extra 3 pips, give it an extra 5 pips, and then go for an extra, 6 or 12 pips to be like the double of what your risk is. So then that way you kind of give yourself a little bit more of a buffer for the market to breathe. That could be something if you're continually noticing that you're getting bopped. That might be something to do. Give a little more space and then go for a little further. CJ, I'm doing good, brother. I had a good night's sleep. I got my smoothie. I got my Tyson punch out shirt. I'm ready to punch out this market. It's my Friday. Everything's going good, man. Down 1% for today. Slightly early on EU short. 1%'s nothing. Easily made back. You're in a good position. So this is definitely structurally failing to make new low. You can see kind of 1, 2, 3 at the low, made the low here, and right now it's failing. Sentiment's kind of rising, but I'm still short biased on it, so you might just need to correct before we can get like a new, like another push. If it tries to come down and fails again, oh excuse me, then you know that this divergence is tuned in and it just might not be falling for the day. But we're gonna put it all together. So let's look at the 4-hour chart real quick because we just got to close from the 9 o'clock hour. So kind of inside candle, I think they call that on AU. Just it's choppy. It's still a little choppy. I do, overall it says uptrend like EU, and like I was saying, overall uptrend. This is just consolidation, and then potentially more to the upside. Short-term intraday, it does look like it's in a downtrend, but longer term it's an uptrend. So that's where you could get some kind of chop and consolidation going on. Keep an eye on that. We're not going to be too aggressive today. EA, again, just what? What are you doing? I don't know. All right, move on. EU, definitely, like we said, it's in an uptrend. It's kind of consolidating, but it's looking like almost it's like this is a lower high. This is technically a lower high. This is a lower low. It is falling intraday. You're outside of these EMAs. I'd like to see a little bit of like a pullback, maybe to this bottom here, um, and then more continuation because intraday it's falling. So I don't want to confuse my biases. Like long term rising, but intraday it's falling. So I intraday trade. I don't swing. So I got to stay with this short bias. Right now you're getting a little bit of correction, which is fine. Correct. Show me a level of resistance, and then give me a bearish signal that tells me you're going to come back to the downside and try and retest these lows or make a new low, and then I'm game. If not, then there's no trade. GJ on a 4-hour. Again, like we said, it blasted up and now it's holding this level right here. You have an ascending channel, it breaks the channel, and now it's using the channel potentially as support to move higher, potentially. It's in a downtrend because it made a high, came down, and then it's just, you can see like breaks and retests, a little choppy, but it seems overall like it's trying to come to the downside. Your TDI is in a selling condition, but it's having a little bit of issue right now, so we're just going to take it slow and see what it shows us. Divergent here on a TDI and a 30 between this top. This top is kind of divergent, so we'll see. No rush. Take it slow. Let's take a look at GU on the 4-hour. Finding support at this level. Again, we want to short it. Everything's in a selling condition, but we'd like to see a break and a retest because this zone, see how it held here from late last week? Kind of held it and then bursted through, but then came right back up above it. Now it's back to it. So it's consolidating at the same level it's consolidating before. Does it follow what GJ is trying to do where it looks like it's pushing up? We don't want to say that. We want to say short biased. But it does look like it's kind of giving a little bit of resistance at the moment. So we can't short it just yet, which is I'm glad that I didn't take that 5-minute. Because now clearly I would have been bopped out. We're getting a little bit of rejection. Sentiment's rising off of the divergence. Could come back up into this area. I'd like to stay short biased on it, but the market's just been so choppy that you can't even really call a direction for more than a day or two. It just hasn't been running. And then the dollar index on the 4-hour still looks like it's going up. Trend line's rising. You're kind of in a selling condition. You're breaking through this zone here. And you're trying to get up to these highs, in my opinion. You're trying to come up to this. Now, right now it's kind of at this level here. But see how kind of used it as like broke through it. Now it's like pushing through. See, maybe it comes back a little bit to here. Kind of finds a little bit of support and then moves higher. I don't want to go away from, you know, saying that it's in an uptrend. But, you know, just take it slow. Like I said, yesterday it took me, I sat here silent yesterday for a lot of the stream. Just like I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. And it took me till 10:35 to find a position. So as long as you wait and you're patient, I think you're going to find what you're looking for. Let's see if we can find any significant levels here on EU where we might see it like maybe pull back to as like a correction because it's not divergent. Clearly just made a low. So now you would anticipate some type of a correction and then potentially retest a low or make a lower low. It's not divergent. This is your first oversold. And it's not divergent here. It's, you know, made a low. And sometimes it just V bottoms, as they call it. Just a V, up and out. Maybe you see it come back here to this lower low. Maybe it comes and retests this level. Break, retest, continuation. Which wouldn't be bad because then you're like, you got like 30-ish to the bottom. I'm sure I could get like a 10 or 15 pip stop. But yeah, you can see it's finding like support here at the moment. Like I said, it was divergent on the 5-minute here. You can see all these pins, like, and now it's like correcting up. This kind of, I really don't know. It's a little choppy. But that's it. That's kind of where we're at. And then just choppy, choppy. I definitely would like to see this come lower just because like this TDI, but you can see how it kind of came up almost like, I don't want to, that's not what, it's not like a head and shoulder. They're usually more defined. You can see like a shoulder, head, shoulder. It's usually more defined than that. But this isn't really what I would want to trade. this would be the least I would want to trade. I really would like to trade, I mean, ideally EU. EU looks the most ideal. You can see a clearly defined low that you would like to try and come back to. It's clearly falling. It's falling cleaner than like anything. See, AU's kind of choppy, and GU's a little choppy too. Like fell, now it's kind of just chopping, but EU has been a really nice, just clean falling. So if we can come back and find a level of resistance, show us that it's no longer pushing to the upside, create a bearish pattern that I understand and recognize as more continuation to the downside, I would like to trade this ideally over anything just because it's cleaner. So I try and keep that in my mind. But I don't want to blindly jump in a sell either if it's not good. You can see structurally, commotion in the kitchen. You can see structurally, you had divergence right here. I'll start drawing it. So right here you have divergence as you strike a new low, but you don't on the TDI. So this shows weakness, but it doesn't mean that it's over. I need structure to tell me that it's over. Okay, well, what happens next? It comes up, makes a higher low, makes a higher high, makes a even low. Doesn't break. Can't break that. Now it comes up, and now you're kind of like in an ascending channel, like this. Ascending channel, whatever you want to say. You're in something like this. It's moving higher, up, 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 bang, 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 like pinball in between the bumpers. But now, does it find a horizontal level and then push, or does it find a horizontal level and come back down and try and test these lows? I don't know. We're going to watch and wait and see, and then the market will tell us. Same thing kind of happened on AU, but you can see how much choppier this is. It's just not as clean. Let's get out of here. Yeah, so you can see on GU, it's still like, it's just like TDI is still pulling down. I'd like to see it like the trend line in a better position. Like I'd like to see it where it's like this, like you're under it. It's like you're under it. It's just, to me, it's a lot easier to read. You could break through it. That's fine. I still take trades like that, but just trying to increase my probabilities. Dollar index. Same thing as EU. It's divergent. It's just inverse. Divergent, breaks down, consolidates, pushes, makes a lower high here. After this, makes a lower low, then a lower high, comes back. Now it's a lower low. Does it come up and make a lower high and then continue back? Or does it start to like push its way back up towards the highs? Watch and wait and see. I still want to see it come to the upside. It is divergent though, like on the 15-minute. I can't deny that I don't, that I see that. Like, you can see that's divergent. Rising price action, showing some weakness on a TDI. I can't deny that. I'll leave it on just so that I keep it in my mind. And then, but EU's not. Between the lows here, like this is the low, and then this is the lowest low, but they're not divergent. It's more like an agreement. I don't see divergence on this. Yeah, maybe from back here, but I don't draw it like that. I keep it more current. But sometimes it doesn't have to be divergent to reverse, you know? It's not like a hard, fast rule. GU, probably right back around to 800. Yep, right here on the 1 minute. Almost like inverse divergence, where this is lower, but this is higher. I don't know. Try not to look at it like that. Try not to get too deep, man. The more you start getting crazy with it, the more you really start to confuse what you're looking at. Just try and keep it simple. This looks like it wants to come higher. Like we said, I like to stay short biased on this, but first off, it's just shit. It's just choppy. It's right back in this Asian range. Like this. Like the first couple hours of the day. Like it's like that. Like kind of broke out. This is from yesterday. Yesterday's like Asia range. This is above today's Asia range, but from yesterday it's like right back into it. Today's Asia range is more like this. So you're above it, you know. And that's also what this structure, the ascending channel, says. Like you're holding above it. It's just this one's a little bit too choppy for me. What's up, Michael? How you making out, bro? Now here we go. Like, are we starting to go a little sideways here from where we had this drawn? Let's extend it a little bit. See, like I said, kind of like broke. Now it's like kind of going a little sideways. EA shoving down. Kind of found support, resistance up here. Now push back down to the lows. It's definitely, you can see like your TDI is definitely falling. But this pair's just been so choppy. I don't even know that I can believe anything that this thing says. But clearly it says it's trying to come lower. As this tries to come lower, you're going to see AU push up because of that AUD. And AUD has been really strong lately, like really strong. Dollar index kind of back at this previous high right here. So this is definitely going to be like make or break. You know, could find support here to push higher. Or if it's not, then it's just going to fall through. So keep an eye on that for our USD pairs to see if they find their resistance and then turn back down. This is the other thing I like about having just 5 pairs. It makes it so easy to just, yeah, AUD. Oh, what's up, Max? AUD strength's just been animal lately. This looks like it kind of like fell. Now it like found like a level of like resistance, and now it's like trying to push back down. But you can see it's at this low. Had trouble at this low before. We'll see what happens at this low. Again, break, retest. I still want to stay short biased on EU. I like it. I like it to the downside. But we just got to wait for the potential correction to end. It's not divergent on like any of these time frames. 15.51. It's not really divergent. Clearly falling, just tapped oversold here. So when that usually happens, you see a pullback. So we want to try and find a significant level where you might find some resistance to then potentially come back down to match the low or break the low and continue its downtrend. Like we said, long term, it seems bullish, but intraday, it's falling. So I want to try and stay with that. Broke to 800, break, retest maybe. You can see G like broke down, and it's still kind of like consolidating after this, because after a big push like this, you can see how big this candle is in comparison to like most other ones, except for maybe ones back here where we had a lot of volatility. But usually when you get a really big candle like that, you see a little bit of like pullback, sideways consolidation. Usually doesn't just keep running. Not typically. But again, here it is. It looks like it's trying to come lower. I won't take a 5-minute here. I'll give this thing a whole another 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Because if this really pushes through, then maybe I just take the 15-minute candle with a stop up top here. Like I don't need to get in like super tight or anything like that. And then it gives me more time to see how this candle plays out. It does look promising, like it's trying to come lower. Do I know how much overnight costs at a Wanda? I don't. Like it's definitely a part of your lot size. I think the bigger the lot, then the more the swap fee. But I'm just intraday. I'm usually 2R and out. I hit my 4% and then I bust out for the day. So I haven't done a swing with a Wanda yet, so I don't know. Shorted GU swing trade, 125 pips stop. Might take a while to get there, man. It's just been choppy. But again, I definitely am pretty sure that it's based on your lot size, because the smaller the lot, then the less like the commission, the less the swap. But I don't know what it actually is. So you can see here, GU is definitely trying to come lower. Like we said, it hit here on this 5-minute. Would have stopped us out, but it's still holding this level structurally. Like this. It's still holding this top. And that's also the breakout candle right here. It kind of like broke in, fell, and now it's just chopping. So more so, it's like this. How does that look? More like that. It looks like it wants to fall. I mean, not gonna lie, it keeps coming back down, but it's having a little bit of issue. Just at the moment, like I said, I'll give this 15 minutes. It's coming off of a nice level. I don't have to jump in it eagerly, because if I was going to jump in this, I'd put my stop up here anyway at the top. I don't think I'd put it right here. Excuse me. Let me blow it up so I show you. I'd probably, if I was going to take the 5-minute, I'd probably still put my stop up here at like 30, something like that. I don't know that I'd put it at like 23, which is above this candle, because it could easily just come back in and retest this. But that's a clear you know, it's through again. Again, it's through. It could fall. Um, I'll give this another 5 minutes and see how this candle holds. It could just get stuck in this zone here. You know what I mean? How it's having trouble breaking this. You know, 1, 2, 3, pushes off it. Now it's going to come back to it. I'd like to see it break. A retest would be the best. I don't know if I'm going to get that. But I'll give it 5 minutes and see what it does. Hey, anytime, Michael. Happy to help. GJ. Okay, so here we go. You're seeing some momentum on the pound. This is clearly breaking back in. And I was wrong because I said this thing looks like it wants to go up, and now clearly you're finding momentum to the downside. You might see it here on GU. But I don't know if it's just like a grab and it's going to like pull back. That's why I'm like, let me just give it 5 minutes. I mean, you know, 3.5 minutes now, 4 minutes. Let's see where this thing closes. If it like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do on it. Let's see what EU's doing. Dollar index. So this could just be pound strength because the dollar index really isn't moving in any significant way that would make me be like, oh, okay, well, the dollar index is really moving, so it's the USD driving this. It seems like pound is driving this right now. GU falling back into this consolidation, or GJ falling back into this consolidation. GU trying to break out. Had a pretty decent move on the 5 minute, but I don't know just yet. Yeah, GU, these is definitely strong zones. On the hour, you can see how it's rejecting kinda. Like it broke down into this zone and now it's just sideways. And this is something that we say a lot. Down, sideways, down. Up, sideways, up. And it pins. It's showing sellers for 1 hour. For another, you know, it's only been 28 minutes or so into this so far. So this could do anything. It could literally just turn right back up. But you can see like it's kind of pushing down, showing resistance at the zone and trying to come lower. Is in a selling sentiment. Kind of like a break and retest. 4-hour candles, just it's still on this zone, so I don't want to be jumping in it. But you can see how this is definitely, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Because even if this does close as like a nice engulfing candle, I haven't broke this zone because it could just as easily like hit this area and like fizzle. Again, it's a little divergent from yesterday, like this. So it could just be like this. Like, look, if we try and draw it the straight, we try to draw it the same way every time, so we can be consistent. This is a descending channel. It breaks the channel. Now it's coming back to the channel. Does it hold this and then bounce, or does it drive through it? Well, if it's going to drive through it, I want to see it break and then come back and show me resistance at this level. I don't know if I want to take it here yet. I feel like that might be early. Might be aggressive, you know? Let's not lose sight. Yeah, see here, kind of went sideways on EU. This is just what we said. Kind of falls out of the channel sideways, and now does it break down, or does it start to push back up? We'll have to see. It still is at this high right here at like 17, 18. Got 1 minute left. I still want to see this come down. on EU. So there's your candle. Not bad. Kind of broke this range here, but I don't know that I can take this just yet. It looks promising. It looks like it could fall. You can see on the 5-minute, you're clearly below. A little bit divergent, but this isn't done. You know, you can't call this yet because this is still forming. You don't know if it pushed up here, then you could be like, okay, yeah, it's a little divergent. Right now, it's still kind of falling out. I don't know if I could take that though. I don't feel really confident taking that. I like the daily. It just broke the trend line pullback and it's creating an engulfing candle. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of stuck at this zone at the moment. It could fall, but I don't know that I feel confident to take this play because, yeah, it's falling. I don't like this zone just yet. Maybe it drives through. You know, this is a pretty decent 2-candle. Kind of broke this consolidation right here. But I'm still right into this. It does look like it's trying to fall on the hour. That was the 30-minute close, so let me take a peek at the 30-minute. Came down, broke it here. You might see it fall. I don't know that I feel confident enough to take it though. EU starting to get a little bit of stalling here. Let's see if it kind of finds itself potential to come back down. Like I said, I do like EU the best just because it's the cleanest. But I don't know this for a fact yet either. Dollar index kind of back at this level right here, like this high. Broke up, came down, broke through. You would anticipate that it would retest here, potentially find some resistance to try and match the highs or come higher. It is in an overall uptrend. So in that instance, I should be keeping my eye on EU for a probable reason that it might break down. CD, good morning. How are you? I don't like the 15-minute trend line on this at the moment, how it's rising still. I'd like to see it kind of come up and settle, maybe double top, and then curl over. You know, something, see how this is right here? How it like kind of curls over. As it's rising up, price is still rising. See, it comes back down, but this was still rising, then price moves higher. So I don't want to just short it right away with this like kind of rising. To me, that says like it's not quite ready yet. Now, that's like statistical. It can just fall right through. That happens. I'm trying to go on probabilities. What does it typically do? What is more times than not, what does it do? When that trend line's rising, you need to let it settle because it's a wave, you know? Everything's a wave. I don't want to dive right in. So I'll get cracked. Yeah, GU pushing. Pushing down to the lows right now. And again, if it is going to break out, this thing has so much space on ADR. Look at it. Look how much space this thing has. If it's going to break these lows, then it's going to come back and retest them. So I could still potentially find an entry here, but it just might be like in an hour or something like that, you know? It could easily just break the low, come back and retest it, and I'd be looking for an entry, you know, at like 05, 06, and it's at 09. But it'd be much more probable than trying to take a breakout and being wrong because it's not ready to move. I'd rather know that it's moving, find the pullback, get in at the same price practically, and then move. And I might even have a tighter stop. So it pays to wait. If it's going to move, then that's fine. I'll catch the correction. I'll catch the next bus. I feel good. I feel like I'm seeing it well today. I don't feel rushed. Just look around. See what's going on. A little choppy. Yes, a little hard to read. No trades for you today. That's all right, man. That's good. I'd rather be patient and try and catch something correct than um, feel the need to trade and then now I'm behind, and then when a good setup comes, then I'm a little bit timid to take it potentially because I've already lost. I think that happened to me. That happened to me Tuesday. I took a early trade on EA that I shouldn't have, and then a better trade presented, and I didn't take it, and it worked out because I didn't want to lose 4%. So sometimes it just pays to be slow and wait. When to know the correction ends. I try to use divergence, and I try to find price starting to give me structure. It's all about structure. Like, see here, for instance, on AU, how it's like divergent, like this, and it's making new highs, but then it comes back down, it makes a higher low than this, so you anticipate that it comes to the top, but it doesn't. It doesn't get that high. And it comes down, and it fails to make this high. So now it's like a higher high, a lower high, a lower high. Now you're starting to fail, and you can see that sentiment is starting to come into a selling potential. And then you look for like a breakout, something like this right here. This candle, this kind of like two candle. Stops are above, and you can see I always go to point. You guys can't see where I point. If your stop is up here, you can see where the line is. This lower high never breaks it, because if it is indeed then starting to go in a downtrend, you should not see price come above that, because it's lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So if it's going to continue in this instance in a downtrend, then price should not come higher than the previous lower high. It should come lower, like a stair. So your stop should be good above this level, and as you can see it is, and then it just keeps falling. So I use divergence, and then I wait for structure to confirm. Not just divergence, it's a multiple step process. And then I look for a breakout candle. That kind of tells me like, okay, now I'm going to get going. It's usually a bearish or a bullish engulfing candle. That's how I do it. And now, it might not make the most sense to you, but this is something that I've been looking at for a long time. And that's kind of how I know. Get some momentum here. Now this kind of was quick here on EU, and I don't know that it's necessarily absolutely ready right now, but you can see how it went sideways. It hit the channel, went sideways, broke out, and then right here, bearish engulfing, stop at the top. Now this hasn't really created structure yet for me, so this might be early, so I don't know that I would take that yet. But if you're looking to try and catch the lows, I think you have to be a little bit aggressive. But I'm not trying to be aggressive because this hasn't really made structure yet. Did make kind of like a double top, failed to get higher, but if it is going to come lower, it has to come back and retest this area to make a lower high than these highs. And that's where you can get back in and not have to worry about it. If it shoots right back up and moves higher, then you know that this is just a higher low then, and then the structure is still moving up. This was just like a level of resistance, came down, makes a higher low and then potentially to the upside. But if not, if it shows again and then pushes for another move, then you know that this is starting to create downtrending structure. That's how I look at it. Because we know our bias is to the downside. It's clearly falling. There goes GU. Yeah. So that was a pretty decent candle. Like I said, I wasn't so inclined to take the breakout. I'll let this candle close. And then if it does close through, it's going to come back and retest. And I'll just look for a retest. Dollar index trying to come higher because it's in an uptrend. So we're trying to stay with it. How far are we on EU? It's like 10 pips to the low. ADR. ADR is 35 from where we are currently. Yeah, I'm not ready to dive in yet. Not yet. GJ breaking. You can see the divergence on the 5-minute. It just held like this. So now it's again. It made a lower high. Okay. Now it's going to make a lower low, and it's going to come back up to make another lower high and then come back down. Or it's just going to run away, which usually isn't typical. Usually you find, especially after all this momentum, you usually find a little bit of support, come back, find a level of resistance, which could be in this area. Probably at this breakout candle potentially. You can see how this kind of breaks down and then starts running. And at this point, you're holding the trend line as it's falling. That's why this formation works as well, because it matches on the TDI. Kind of breaks the consolidation and starts running. I was wrong. I was seeing this potentially to the upside. Just the way it was looking, holding this trend line. But clearly that is not the case. GU's moving lower. Yeah, so this might have been a miss on my part. But again, let's see it come back, break and retest. AU. Yeah, AU's trying to come down too because the dollar index is finding its strength to the upside. So this is good. So now let's just find an entry. See if we can find one. Really nice move. And now you can see here on the 1 minute, see how it's starting to break out with these EMAs on the lower right hand portion of my screen. See how the EMAs are starting to fan out? It's great. It's going to have to retest. So let me see if I can find a retest entry. Maybe pull back up and touch these lows. And I can get in at like 0405, something like that. And then we'll rip it back down. Cool. Let's do it. This is what I want to see. I don't feel like I missed it. Yeah. GBP's definitely got the gas. Let's see. All these pins on EA. All this kind of rejection, divergence. Divergent here. Starting to create structure. All right, 1 minute left on the candle. So GU's breaking the zone, which is great. So this was indeed a nice 2 candle. It would have been you would have been looking at maybe like 20-ish, something around there, 18, 20, and you're up about, so you're almost at 1R, but this is cool. It broke this zone for a new low a day. Let's see if it wants to come back and touch this zone and then show me momentum back down. And if it shows me a signal for to come lower, then I'll take it. If it just runs away, then it runs away and I missed it. You can see, really nice, breaking out, hits oversold. What happens at oversold? It corrects back up. I would love to see it come back up here, like I said, somewhere at the lows, 06, 07. Give me another reason to get short. See if we can find something. Definitely looking for, you can see it's pulling up, but I don't just want to, just because it hits the lows, I don't want to dive in either. I definitely want to find a good reason to get in. Are you coming back for a retest? Looks like, yeah, it looks like they're all definitely, let's see, let's just take it slow. Make sure this wasn't like just like a false push. See, you can see on EU coming back in. It made a low. Now it's coming back in to this area. Let's see how it happens. I don't know that it comes all the way up this high to like 12. I would like to see it come to like in here, 07, like these lows. It should, if it breaks, retests, and then potentially more to the downside. Yeah, yesterday my position was 2 lots, just based on my stop loss was 15. So for 2%, it wound up being like 2 lots. EU, you can see it looks like it's starting to fall. Kind of came back up. Looks like it's making maybe a lower high here, and now maybe it's trying to fall through for more continuation. I think your stop would be here at like 15, something like that, above this structure. Let's see. I'm not sure if I'm going to take EU or GU. That's a good question. I should get this kind of sorted out. um, dollar index still trying to come higher. I like GU because it has more space on ADR. I like this breakout. You could, now it's pulling back. It's up at like 4 or 5. We said these lows right here is the low on the 15-minute. You can see it's pulling back. I want to find it settle. I don't want to just dive in. I want it to settle. Let's see. I don't know that. We're gonna see. We're gonna keep it clear and obvious. That's all we can do. This could be a here on EU if it makes like an engulfing. It's having a little bit of trouble moving lower at the moment. I'm watching on my phone real quick. Being patient with it, just make sure that it's not a higher low. Like I said, this trend line's still kind of rising at the moment, so I want to see a nice breakout. Patience. Patience, patience. Obviously, if I find an entry, I'll call it, and I'll tell you guys that in a minute. You can see it's pulled back. It's kind of hitting this level right here. I don't know that it could come even higher. You know, it could test this entry right here. I don't know yet, so I don't want to just dive in. I want to make sure that if I do get in, it's like, okay, this is a valid reason to get in because now it's starting to create more momentum back to the downside. So just take it nice and slow. You could see, yeah, it's kind of holding here. Just nice and patient, no rush. No rush at all. Back at the lows, kind of like 06. I'm watching GU on here and I'm watching EU on my phone. Trying to keep an idea of what my stop would be so I can monitor it. It's pulling back into the trend line a little bit. EU screaming back up. See, this is why I didn't want to just jump right in and look at EU. Pushing right back up. Coming back to these highs. I didn't want this to be like a false breakout. But it's fine. Usually you see it come back to the 50. Your first pullback's usually at the 50. If it comes back and wants to test, you know, this structure here on the 1 minute, up at like 12, that's fine. Hold and then start to push, then your low is like 89 from 12. I mean, that's like 20 something pips. If I can get in for like 10, I can hit 2R nice and easy. And if it doesn't, if it just keeps screaming back up, then I'm just not going to get in. EU, yeah, see, EU kind of like double bottomed. Now it's right back into this level. That's what I said about this trend line rising. Remember what I said? I don't want that. Maybe it double tops, I said, potentially. Kind of down, up, and then another down, and then maybe the next one. Because you want this trend line to kind of flatten out. I'm going to keep an eye. Bless you. Keep an eye on GU as we're hitting these 1 minute lows on the lower right hand portion of my screen. See what GJ is doing. EA. This is all very interesting right now. GU right back in here. Pulling back, pulling right back to the entry where we said we could have had an entry. That sometimes happens. That's why if you took this entry and then you put your stop to break even, you probably just got knocked. That's why I don't. That's why I don't do that. I don't like doing that because you probably would have just got tapped and been like, "Oh, I got 0.5% on this trade." See here on the 1 minute, trend line still rising, so we're not ready to short it yet. this, to me, seems like an area where you would like to find some sort of resistance if it's going to come lower. This makes sense. Double bottoms, breaks, retests. Now you'd like to see some sort of like flattening out and then momentum back to the downside. And if not, then this is a false breakout and it's still chop. And the dollar index is lying and it's fallen off, which it kind of is. So this is where being patient paid, because I would not have hit 2R on this trade. This trade would not have hit 2R for me. Now maybe if I took that 5-minute and then took that small stop of maybe like 7 pips, and yeah, I might have hit 2R, but I didn't really trust that one. So I feel good about everything right now. Like I said, I still think this comes lower. I don't want to go away from the trend. It's just being a little funky and a little choppy. Yeah, EU's higher. It's higher than the highs on the 1 minute. See? Came down, bottomed. So this is just structurally making a low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, because it's a 1 minute, so there's a lot of candles. Now it's making a higher high. This is making uptrend at the moment. You can see this in almost like engulfing here. Not really, because it didn't break, so this could still hold right here. So we're still looking for sells. Not giving up on it. Here we come on GU. Right at this top. Looking good. Could be retesting. Now you're starting to get momentum. I'm watching GU at these highs. My stop would be like my stop would be like 18. My entry, so it's like 12 pips. Kind of like that. I kind of like this. Let's see if it makes one more. Let's see if it comes up one more time. See, yeah, see, it's moving up a little bit. Let's see if it holds. If it holds this level and kind of double tops, you know, everything's still in like a kind of like selling. The only thing that's not is this really on the 15-minute. But kind of driving higher. EU is still kind of holding. See how it's holding here on the 5-minute. On the 1 minute, GU is pushing up a little bit. Trying to watch both of them simultaneously. AU. I'm not really going to play with AU. GJ. Yeah, okay. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's see how it handles. It's right at these lows, which is great. It's still holding here. It's Like I said, I'd like to see it kind of come back down and then break this zone here and shoot me an entry at like 06. I take a stop up here at like 18. So I'd probably take like a 13 pip stop. I'd be looking for 26. So I'd need to go from like 06 to like 86, which is like right close to the lows here. So everything's starting to line up. I just need to verify that it's ready to come lower. And indeed, it's still in this downtrend. That's the candle. It pulled all the way back up. I'm gonna look for a short in this next candle potentially, because it's like came down, came up. Now let's see if we can get to come right back down. Let's see. I needed to break through. My size is gonna be like a 2-2, something like that. My stop is gonna be 19. Yeah, come on, break through. If this thing blasts through, I'm in. I'll take it short. I'm gonna try and take this candle all the way back down. See, it sat right on it. See if the next candle pushes down. Still not bad, but not what I wanted to see. I want to see it break through here. Like I said, kind of like 06. Let's take a quick look at EU. EU's trying to do the same thing. Yeah, see, it's holding this level. I want to see it break, because then I'll be more inclined to see it come to the downside. Everything's still falling. But this was nasty to come down and then re-pull this whole thing. That's what makes me believe that potentially you could see another candle like drive down. Just like stop people out, retest the zone, and then continue. But it's not right now. It's holding this level. So it's squaring. It's like this. This is how I caught the trade yesterday on GU. I needed to break the square. Breakout. If it doesn't break out, I can't take it. EU, see if that's looking any better. Kinda, but not really. It doesn't look as good as GU. Dollar index is important. It's holding. See how it's holding these lows here on the upper right hand portion of my screen on the 5-minute? See how it's like bottom, come back, bottom. I need to see momentum to the upside. And here I need to see top, momentum to the downside. GJ, I'm just gonna try and look around, pushing up. EA, nothing yet. This is great. It's good that we're not in. We're getting better entry, and if it doesn't, I took it to bring it down. If it gets to the 1-minute 800. Oh, which pair, brother? Oh, I'll look to bring it down. I understand what you're saying, kind of like a retest to this zone up here. Yeah, I'm definitely playing it slow. Obviously, I'm not in anything yet. Being very patient, just because, like we said, if it's going to come lower, it's going to retest and then push lower. Since it's not, then potentially this might have been a false breakout. And I don't believe that. I still think this might come lower. But this market has been so choppy. And I still feel strongly that the dollar index is trying to rise, but it is divergent, and there are some factors that could be causing it to not. This could be a breakout for EU, this candle here on the 5-minute in the upper right portion of my screen, but I like to see that level hold. We're up at like 19 on GU, so it's getting way up there. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. So I was looking, I really wanted to see this level hold in this box. No worries, no worries. Let's kind of shake it out. And let's be patient. Again, I think we still like our direction. But maybe not, because again, this is in an overall uptrend. Look at this on the hour, that last hour. Just nasty. Really nasty pin. Just sucked the whole thing back up into this consolidation. Try and look around the time frames real quick. Yeah, it's not looking yet like it's ready for us. Dollar index is kind of pushing down. It's breaking here. Like I said, I'd like to see it hold here. Comes down, comes up, comes down, holds as support, and then continuation to the upside. If it doesn't do that, then there's no trade. Trade's invalid. You think AU's ready to come down? It's got to break. It's definitely got to break. But I see what you're looking at. And again, it could be AUD strength. But if AU is going to come down, then they should all tumble because they're dollar quotes. So I'm going to say, I'm going to wait to find a pattern that I recognize and understand as continuation. And then I'm going to stay, I'm short biased. I'm going to stay short. I'm going to look to try and get this thing to tank. But I want to be cautious though. I don't want to dive in it and take an unnecessary L. You can see how it's holding. AU's holding. They're all holding. Dollar index isn't really giving you. It's see on the 1 minute how it's making structure down. It makes a high. It's divergent. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now it's like kind of making a same low. That's why I'm wondering if it's gonna like hold and find support here and move up. I'm looking for the sellers to kind of come in the market on these EU GU pairs. Here we go. Stay on it. Coming right back into it. I want to see it break. It's sitting on it again. If this next candle closes through, I'll take it with a stop up here. Because right now it went from being a square to now like ascending. Like this. So here we go. This might be an entry. And I'll have my stop at like 15-ish. Do I take the? I might take it above at like 17. This is looking good. I just need to break through. If it closes through, then I'm going to go short. If it doesn't and it looks kind of like it's holding this level, like I want to see it break through the level. If it's not breaking through the level, I'm not going to jump in. I'd like to see it break through here and confirm it on the TDI. It's not. Not yet. See how it's sucking back up at this level? Not yet. We'll wait. Just give it a push. And then let's try. And this looks like a bearish engulfing on the 5 minute. See 1, 2, 3 bearish engulfing. but that's, you could see the trend line still here kind of rising. It's not through. That's not confirmed. So I'm not ready to take that yet either. EU. Still moving higher. Look at this. Dollar index. Dollar index I think is done. It's not holding this level now. There's still time. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but look how it's just falling off. Look at this candle right here on the 1 minute. Look at EU screaming up. Here on the 5 minute, as I said, this might have been the igniting candle. I didn't want it to be. I wanted to see it hold this level because I'm trying to stay with that bias. You can see it's just struggling. GJ. I'm not done with it yet. I'm not done with these yet. I'm still staying with it. Especially pound. Maybe not euro. I'm staying with the pound. AU. Still holding. I'm not done with this yet because this could just sit here for the next 3 minutes, kind of consolidate, and then come to the downside. I don't want to get away from this yet, but it's right back into this consolidation. I wanted to be under it. I wanted to break under it, retest, and then. But again, if it can break this zone, then I know I'm trying to strike the low. So I'm not giving up on it yet. You can see right here, breaks down. See how this closes in 2 minutes. This might be an engulfing to see. So at that case, you could be like, oh, I should just buy EU. I don't know how to trade it like that. I don't know how to validate that. I'm just going to stay on GU. I guess it's just kind of, I know this kind of looks ugly with like the box and the channel, but I want to see it break the channel and the box. I want to see it get down like 06. Get a stop at like 18, 12 pips, and then go for like 24, something like that. And if it just holds, then I don't think I'm going to trade it to the upside. AU, still holding. Still holding. See, it's just holding it at the moment. Dollar index. Here it comes. A minute and 20 seconds on this 5 minute. See how it might be like a breakout, like drop, consolidate, drop. Let's not rule out that it can't come back to this 50 EMA and then potentially come higher. I don't want to get away from the uptrend. I don't want to call it over yet. But right now it's not looking promising. Still early. You still got time. This could easily just come back to the 50. It's clearly, EU has clearly been falling. It's not divergent. It hasn't double bottomed. Hasn't really done what you typically see. But again, it doesn't always have to do that. I want to stay with the pound though, if I can. Again, not in anything. Just taking it nice and light. Somebody just hit me up, said they placed a sell on GN, so that they feel confident in the pound to the downside. Now that's not a declaration of taking GN on a short. Please know that. Just somebody happened to hit me up. I don't trade that pair anyway, so. DXY is divergent. Yeah, man, I see it. I definitely see it. And here's that 5 minute candle I was talking about. Kind of broke down, then sideways, and then broke down again. That doesn't scream bullish to me. It's like falling. So you might see EU come higher. I was hoping this wasn't the igniting candle, this reversal. I was hoping it was just going to flatten out and fall. I still like I still like GU to the downside though. See, here it comes. It kind of stalled for 15 minutes. We're in this zone, so I don't want to try. This is really, really interesting. Again, if this drives down and breaks this level cleanly, as it looks like it's trying to do, see, like it's trying, but it just keeps stalling here. It's weird. It's weird to me. I'll keep an eye on this 5 minute too, because again, if you get a 5 minute, that 2 candles, and comes through here, I'm in with a stop above at like 18, something like that. But right now it looks like it's I don't want to put I know that the dollar index is really correlated with EU, but it was being a little funny yesterday, and GU still did what I needed it to do. I don't know if I want to take the 1 minute or if I want to wait 3 minutes and see how this 5 minutes sets up. I don't know if I want to be that aggressive. I think DXY structure is breaking down. Yeah, it kind of looks like it pockets. I think you're right. That's why I'm not trying to get in this just yet. I'm holding out hope. I'm trying to stay with this trend. Back up at the 50, which is this previous low right here. So that's a good spot. Makes sense where it could retest this. Now let's see if we can find a reason to get short, but doesn't look like it at the moment. GJ chopping around. EA, AU. Not yet. Not yet. I'm not giving up on it though. I just need a valid reason. Yeah, you could see. That's like breaking down, breaking down. We do agree that the overall trend on these pairs is up. EU, GU, stuff like that. Long-term trend is up. We're just trying to stay with, kind of this intraday. It fell. It's made a new low here, but then came right back up. Like, that's not a great sign. And if it came right back up and then started falling again, that's fine because you anticipate that maybe it comes and checks this low, but you can see this divergent. Like, this is a low, but it's higher. So it's kind of wonky. A nice 5 minute candle through TDI, like it's because it's still in a selling condition. See, here comes GJ trying to come lower. Doesn't mean it's going to, but you can see the momentum's trying to push down. So the pound could be weak. It doesn't necessarily have to correlate with DXY divergent here on the 1 minute on DXY. I still want to stay short biased. And if it's going to be right, then it's going to show me the right signal. If it doesn't show me the right signal, then I just don't take the entry. It's that easy. It's just chopping people out. This has a lot. You can see on the 5 minute, you can see where the potential is for this to come lower. You can see it. You see it. You're like, yo, this looks like it wants to come lower. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like break and it's retesting the bottom of this zone, right? I don't know if I want to be aggressive on the 1 minute or if I want to wait for the 5 minute. Because the 5 minute just pushes like that and it falls through, then I'm short. If the 1 minute could fall through and then move up, and then this 5 minute doesn't look like it ever presented. So I don't know if I want to take a 1 minute or a 5 minute, but I might not get the chance to take either because it might just push higher, and then that's fine. But you can see structure, break structure, we're retesting structure. Is this candle right here on the 5 minute? Is this the one that broke down, creates consolidation, and then continues? I'm not taking this candle. I'm waiting for the next one. I'm waiting for the next confirming candle, the next two candle engulfing. If it doesn't come, I can't take it. You're starting to create a little bit of structure on a 5 minute. High, low, lower high, lower low. A little funny today. Oh, we'll see. We shall see. I know. I hear you. I hear you, CD. A lot of pins. It is only a 1 minute. Um, it's kind of interesting here on the 15 minute though, right? How we had this drawn, broke it, came into it, now it's above it. Like it's not really, like I wanted to see an entry in here with more, like I wanted to see the momentum, but it's just continuing like being a little bit choppy. See that pin there on the 30 minute, same on the hour. Doesn't mean it's not going to come lower. And look, it's still under on the hour. Look at how it's under your trend line, under this like market sentiment. Like it's still falling. This could be the drop down, consolidate, and then more continuation. That's why I want to stay short on it. I don't want to get away from that, the idea that this is coming lower. But clearly it's not. So I can't keep that in my mind and get married to the idea if it's not making that structure. And clearly the dollar index is like moving down. Now again, EU is up at its 50 right here, which is this lower low right here. So it could just be finding this area to then come lower because it's been falling, And to me, this low seems probable, but at the moment, not so much. Still feel confident though. I'm going to stay with it. I'm not giving up on this thing. GU is like, it's still finding resistance from this previous area where it broke down. So it's break and retest. And now I just need an engulfing candle, confirm on a TDI. That's all I need. I don't know that I'm going to take it on the 1 minute. That might be a little too aggressive for me. I'll wait for the 5 minute. But Yeah, I think it's a good play. Here comes GJ trying to come lower. And that doesn't mean anything. Pound. It's all about strength and weakness of like your pairs. You can see it just up and down. Last 15 minutes, up and down. So far, up and down. It's just collecting orders, and it's indecisive. Not breaking the high really. Like it came here and made a high, but it's not breaking the high. So, I mean, you could almost say it's like that, but I'd rather keep it like this. This makes more sense. There's like more touches to it. Kind of false break of the zone, came back in, false break the zone, back in. I need to see out. I want to see. It keeps breaking false to the top. See that? False to the top, false to the top. It hasn't once broken the low. It keeps throwing pins to the low, which maybe that just means it's not coming lower. But I think if you see a strong breakout, then it might be that it's actually good to come out. So if it's moving higher, why is it not moving higher? But then you could say, well, if it's moving lower, why is it not moving lower? I still like the direction. DXY bouncing at the 800. Yeah, it's still falling, certainly. But you can see where it's holding. Same with EU. Obviously, EU and DXY are like so closely correlated. Like I said, if I can get a really nice 5-minute bearish engulfing, oh no, don't do that. I hate when it does that. Bearish engulfing on the 5-minute, confirmed on the TDI, is what I'm looking for. You see how it's holding. It's drop, hold, give me a 2-candle bearish engulfing, confirm it through the TDI. I'll get short with my stop up here above the structure, and I'll look to take it to at least the lows, if not lower. That would make the most sense to me. And it might be like, I need it to really be through. Like, show me through, because that to me, how I use that indicator shows momentum. So we'll see what it does in a minute. You got 57 seconds. Like I said, I like to see it through. Like 06, 07, I think I still like that number. Really through on the TDI, and then we're gonna get going. If it's like iffy and it's like sitting on it, I might not take it. The stop would be 20. I don't know if I'm going to take the top of the candle. Top of the candle is like 17, 18, or 22. I'm still looking at like a 12 or 13 pip stop. This is bearish engulfing, but I bet you it sits right on that liquid 50. I know it will. I know it will. Yep, I told you, just sitting on it. Now, this is bearish engulfing, and this is a subjective indicator, but it still hasn't broken this zone yet, so I'm not going to take it. I need, and that's how that's how I have found that the TDI really works. When you break a significant level and it crosses through, that's when it makes sense. It's price action, you know what I mean? And yeah, it could still fall, but it hasn't broken this level. If it broke the level and all that, then I'm Gucci, you know? Yeah, I want the RSI, the green, to come through the yellow because to me that just shows momentum. That's really all it is to me. It's just momentum. It doesn't mean that it's right. It means momentum. When it sits on it, it means that you could still see it like kind of shake out because it hasn't really cleared the zone. Like I want to see it clear these pins. I want to see it clear this box, you know, and then when that RSI crosses through, to me, that confirms momentum. That's how I use it. I'm not just because then how do I know that this bearish engulfing candle is correct? Well, this just gives me like an added confirmation. It is a subjective indicator and it's not always correct, but more times than not, from how I've learned to use it, that leads to more probability. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Just not. Just not there yet. A lot of consolidation at this level. A lot of consolidation. Oh, let me stretch it out. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Now again, doesn't have to be this 2 candle. If the next candle comes through and pushes through, that's fine. I'll take that. I just want to see it make a move through, clear the zone, so that I could potentially target the lows here, which are like, you know, it would be about 16, 17 pips away. I would need like 24, so I need it to break the low. But it's logical that it should come and test the low, in my opinion. It should come and test the low. Dollar index, maybe finding a little bit of support, but not yet. Not yet. GJ kind of like double bottoming, but looking like it's trying to get lower. I still like to pound down. Yeah, I see it. I'm with you on it. And you can see on the 5-minute how it's just sitting, like in this selling condition, looking like it's trying to fall through, you know, because every time it falls through, it's kind of like pinning away from this area. You can see it came down, consolidated, broke the level, retest the level, retesting this low, now potential to the downside. That's how I see it. And I don't want to get away from that. If it doesn't give me a signal, then I just don't take the trade. But I'm not going to try and be like, oh, I'm buying this thing. I still want to see this come lower. It's holding this level. It's holding this. I feel like it could still come down and try and get to these lows. But I need it to break this level first. I need to see it break through. I feel like all the volatility just got kind of sucked out for the moment. Feels really slow. 10:35 is where I found my entry yesterday. AU still sitting. Looks like fishing, man. Without the beer. GJ coming up a little bit. So's GU. So's EU. Just a little bit. It's still you could say it's still holding this level where you could find resistance. Getting a lot of momentum to the upside. At some point, it would feel like it's gonna move down, but I don't trade like that. This is very tricky because I also don't want to see it like just come down a little bit and then pull back up. Grr. It's all right. I know where my stop should be, and I know where my entry is going to be if it's correct. I'm just waiting for it. I know my stop is going to be somewhere up around here. My entry is going to be somewhere around here. It's definitely going to be a 5-minute entry for me. I think the 1 minute could be a fake out. I definitely want to see it. If that 5-minute comes through, the likelihood of it falling feels more probable to me. You would think this looks probable to come higher on EA, right? Like, so it's like kind of all these pins, double bottoming. So if EA starts to come higher, you might see AU come lower. But I don't know, because this looks kind of like the same thing. It's divergent. This is right back in the zone. Kind of broke. Now it's like back in the zone. EU. Corrective channel, if you will. Like this. Maybe this uptrend is now broken. Now we're going to maybe see some momentum to the downside. Maybe. Breaks the channel. Now starts to fall a little bit. I don't like the way this looks though. It's a little bit uglier. GU is a lot cleaner. As far as the lower time frames, EU's cleaner on this 15-minute, but then you could say this on the 15-minute. You could say, oh well, this was in a a descending channel and now broke it to the upside. So it's where it's like you need more confluence. You need the like 15 and the 5. You need it all to like sing together. You need confluence. And you don't know that this isn't going to pull up, touch these lows, You know, because you might say, oh, well, now it's starting to fall off. And then it's like just coming back to like kind of hit this area and then come lower, which would just be a higher low, or excuse me, a lower high. But we're trying to stay with the bias, which is long. But you don't know that it's not going to like break, retest this area at like 18 on EU, 17, 18, 16 in this area as like support and then move higher. It's starting to create like kind of uptrending structure. Still like the look of GU on the 5-minute. You know, it still looks like it's trying to come lower on the 4-hour, but this zone is extremely significant. Apparently, it's why it's having so much trouble breaking it. But it is in a selling condition, and it's not divergent, so you would like to see it come and crack these lows. 123.45 would make sense to me, unless it doesn't. If it doesn't come down, then it's not. It's just going to hold this zone and move higher, and this would be a higher low then. Like here's a low, here's a higher high, and then this would be a higher low. But I want to stay short biased. And I need a really good confirmation on his TDI. Like I need this to, and it feels like all the volatility has just been sucked dry. This market's not even moving. It's just like where'd all this momentum go? I don't know. Man, look at this. Just look at, there's no volatility in this market. Look at these candles. Look how small they are. This thing just dried up. I know my number. I'm looking for like 06. If it gets down around 06, 07 with bearish, then that's probably a good sign that it's going to keep going. But you broke down. Let's look at the 15-minute. Let's examine this, and let's not be stuck in our ways. Let's look at it. You smashed down, came right back up. Now it's like 1, 2, chop. Is it just break up, retest, and moving up? And you see how sentiment's kind of rising, and maybe this downtrend just isn't downtrending anymore, and maybe it's finding support at this level, and we're staying short-sighted for no reason. On a 1-hour, this is clearly under the trend line. It's under the liquid 50. It's clearly falling. On the 4-hour, this is clearly in a selling condition. You know, broke down, consolidated, potentially to break down some more. That makes sense. So, okay, I don't think I'm wrong in that interpretation. A little difficult to see on the daily, but this obviously is a significant level where things seem to find consolidation for a long time, a long time. And this, you know, if you're a trendline trader, you know, it means you could see that it clearly, you have a descending channel, breaks the channel, comes up, breaks into it barely, and now it's right back up. Just it came in for one candle and then boop, right back up, and now it's holding. Trend line is kind of under this RSI here. If you get a bullish push, you'll see it curl, and it'll look like a double bottom with a curling trend line, and that sometimes leads to bullish momentum. Still trying to stay short on it, but more and more and more, I almost feel sketched to take it short right now. There's no volatility in this market. It's clearly just chopping. It kind of feels 50-50, even though we're saying and we're showing, look at what's happening on the hour. This is selling, it's falling, same on the 4 hour. It's in a selling condition. But dollar index is falling. As the dollar index falls, EU, GU, AU should rise. Should. Not 100%, but it should. Yep, see, here it comes. Pushing up. See what it does. Not calling that a, obviously it's pinned back here before. I'm not saying, oh, there it goes. See, it's moving up. But it's just struggling to give you a sell signal. It's more like chop right now. I don't know if I'm going to trade this pair. I think I might get caught in chop unless some gas comes out of the ether. I don't think this thing is going to move. And I'm not, excuse me, I'm not really inclined to take it long either. My bias is short. See, and now GJ, see, it's kind of like double bottoming, having trouble. I think we had it drawn like this, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. No, I don't think it was like that. I think I had drawn it like this. EA coming higher. Here comes, oh, now we're getting a little bit of life. See how it holds. AUD. Just trying to get momentum. Like I said, you see all these pins, not breaking low. Went wick, and now it's like starting to create uptrend structure. Divergence. It's breaking down. This is a lower high. See how it does. Is EU better than GU? Is this a cleaner TDI? Is this cleaner structure? Should I be looking at EU more than GU? Breaking down. I said that I liked EU the best just because of how this was just falling. See it's starting to fall through. Dollar index is trying to come up. London fix. I don't know what that is. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Coming back to this level right here on the 1 minute, on the 15-minute as well. You could see how kind of like came up, consolidated, pushed up. Now it's coming back to this area right here. Does it hold it as resistance and then move back up? Does it fall through? I don't know. I might just call it. I don't want to get stuck in anything that's not correct. And it's kind of just everything's a little funky. AU with a nice little candle on a 5 minute. It's choppy though. It's real choppy. I don't know that that's like a good or a bad entry. I don't know. Oh, gotcha. It's Pima in the house. EU trying to find some momentum. Yeah, volatility's coming back. All right, let's keep an eye on GU. Like I said, I feel like I like GU. I feel like it's got the potential to have some gas. It's got more ADR in it. Pound is a little bit more volatile than EU. EU is like, I don't know. Again, if this busts through, and yeah, see, like, see how this is moving down? I need this to where I'm at. See, 8. I need it to be down like 6, 7. It's going to push through on his 5 minute. Now we're getting some momentum here on the 1 minute. You can see we're kind of like breaking towards the bottom of the box. Let's see how this closes in 45 seconds. It looks like it's strong. This might break through on a 5 minute. My stop is going to be up here at like 18. It's going to be like a 12 pip stop or something like that. Don't want to be early on this. I need it to be, the more it pushes down, the better I feel about it. All right, here we go. We're getting ready. It's 13 pips. See how it holds. This is dicey. I'm not in yet. This is so dicey. I'm not in yet. Still not in. Yeah, it just feels dicey to me. This is a pretty good push, but like, now I'm short. I'm short. Instant profit. I'm in at 07. My stop is 18 flat. It's about an 11 and a half pip stop, something like that. I like to pull back and see how it just broke down again. So I'm short. It's no guarantee that it's correct, but when it pulled back and started sucking down again, I'm down to try and check these lows. 7. It's like I said, it's an 11. I only need like 22 pips, so I need to get down to. Let me see. I'm gonna do math on it real quick. I need to get down to like what is that? 85, something like that. 1.2385. Yeah, 1.2385. Because 7 to 18. 1.23850. Yeah, I think that makes sense. We'll see how it's closed in 2 minutes. It's still dicey, but trying to stay with it. See what happens. Dollar index looks like it's trying to come higher. EU so far looking like it's trying to come lower. I don't need a lot. 1.2385, right? Because that's 15 plus the 7 is 22. And my stop is 7.5 to 18 is what? 11? 11.5? 7.5 plus 11.5. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, there's no guarantee this holds. Could just hit here and fizzle. We're going to try and stay with it, though. We don't need to go far at all. Feels like volatility is kind of coming back. DXY looks like it's trying to push up, so that could be potential. GJ, don't know. I'm at break even right now. I'm going to keep an eye on it. To me, I hope it's like break, retest on the 1 minute, and then more to the downside. We're going to see, though. Try to stay with this trend. If I can get one good push to the lows, and I'm practically out of it. It's not a bad little 2 candle on the 15 minute. We'll see. Yeah, what happened? AU was chucking down. I hear you, man. Well, if you had a good reason for not getting in, that's all you could do. Just stick to your rationales. If you just missed it, then I don't know. It kind of seems choppy to me. I mean, GU's not really any better. It's kind of choppy here too. But we're in profit. We don't got really far to go. Just I need to check these lows, man. See if the volatility kicks in. 11 o'clock hour. Dollar index looks like it's trying to come up. Hopefully that helps the pound. I know it's going to help euro. Hopefully the pound correlates with it. Yeah, EU looking pretty good. I did say I liked EU better than GU, but I liked GU's a little bit more volatile. Try and get where we're trying to get to. I don't think this is right. Because my stop is, what did I say my stop is like? I should have a bigger entry on this. Technically, I think I'm a little light on my entry. Let me see. Oh yeah, I only have a 10.5 pip stop. I should have been way heavier on this. Well, if I lose, then that's good. I'm not gonna lose as much, but so let me see. I would need like 27 pips. So I would need to go to like 80 to hit my 4%. We'll see. Take it one candle at a time and see if this thing even wants to actually come lower. See if it's not just gonna fizzle. Right at this range here. It's a pretty good close on an hour. It is in this trend line if you're a trend line trader. But it's still falling. So try and stay with that bias. Yeah, I'm in for a little lighter, so if I lose this, I'm going to lose a little less than 2%, which is cool. You had a good entry. Just missed it. We'll see, man. We'll see how these things play out. It's nothing set in stone just yet. GJ looking like it's trying to come lower. Hopefully the pound is weak. I don't know, is it weak or strong? I guess weak, so it would be falling. I'm a little bit, I'm like 2 pips in profit, nothing crazy. Just still at this level. Kind of holding. Looks like it has potential to come lower. But nothing's a guarantee. I'm going to try and get it to 80 down here to see if I can get my full 4%. My take profit was like 85. Because I technically only need like 22 pips. Because I have a 10.5 pip stop loss, so like 21 pips technically. I'm going to try and see if I can get to that 4% mark. I'm going to play it by ear and just take it one candle at a time as we get into the 11 o'clock hour. It's see what it does. Dollar index does look like it's trying to move up, which is good. I got my entry where I said I was looking for it at, kind of like 07, 08. Now, had I been a little bit, I could have got it all the way up here, like 12, like when it pulled back. But when it was pulling back, I was like, nah, this doesn't seem right. But then once it started to fall through again, I was more inclined to take the position. But still, no guarantees. Just gonna see what happens. A little bit divergent here on this 1 minute. Not really divergent, but you can see it's like kind of giving issue. It did break. It could retest because it came down, came back with the pin through a 2 candle. So I wonder if it holds here and it continues more to the downside, or if this thing's just not going to break this trend line. I don't know. I really don't know. Got through on the 5 minute. I'd like to see it retest the lows. That makes sense. Why would it not? But down a little bit right now. Not much, like a 1 pip. Pretty much flat on it. Now on the 5 minute on the DXY, like I was saying, do you see it like this, where it's like a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and this momentum that we saw was just to come back and make a lower high and then it comes down? Or are we staying with the overall move and it's going to try and come back up? Because it is, it is in an uptrend. It has been rising. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't come and test the highs. Nice pin back on the hour. It's holding outside of this EMA. I definitely would like to see it continue. We don't want to call tops or bottoms just like yesterday. You want to try and stay with the trend until it basically stops you out. There's no reason to not keep trading with the trend. And we're in for controlled risk. And if I lose this trade, I think I'll be flat for the week, pretty much. And it's been a struggling week. It really has been. It's been really hard. Now I wouldn't want to see it break back into the zone. I'd like to see it break, retest, and then continuation. I don't want to see it break into the zone. That to me would then signify that maybe this is a higher low. There's just no volatility right now, to be honest. This market is just not moving. I don't know. I'm just sitting at break even, slightly negative. We'll see. I mean, it just feels like this market got real quiet. Just need one rush. One rush to the downside. But dollar index, maybe break and retest for more upward momentum. Same with EU, kind of break and retest, maybe more momentum to the downside. Don't know. I just noticed market got real quiet. My stop loss is at 124.18. My entry is at 124.07.4. And my take profit is 123.80. This thing's starting to suck up though. I'm about to get the quick bop. Yeah, this thing's just going the other way. Not what I wanted to see. See what happens. See if it's just a pin. Not getting out yet. But yeah, obviously you don't want to see this. You don't want to see it start driving into this box. Probably going to take me out. Yeah. Nope, it's just stalling. Yeah, I'm about to be bopped out. Like I said, unless something miraculous happens. You don't like to see when the volatility kicks in and it just pushes back up. Yeah, you can see a dollar index falling. Yeah, I'm right there, about to be out. Bummer. Yeah, I'm out. Womp womp. Just drove up. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen. That's why I wasn't sure about this entry, but, you know, you got to try and take it. And sometimes it happens. So, let's see. I'm up $20 on the week. So I'm flat. This is where I am as a trader. I'm pretty much break even. Try to stay with the trend. I was, seeing this rising. I thought that it might just hold this trend line and push up, but I wanted to stay with the trend. Felt like I had a good breakout, and I got bit for it. It was everything that I thought in my head, but I was hoping wasn't going to be true. That this, like I said, would just push up and it would induce me in, but it would actually just be making a lower high and then continue back down. And that seems to be what it's doing. Didn't get under this structure. So if I didn't take it here, why did I take it here? I need to see it break. But such as trading. Here to trade. Can't always be perfect. Just didn't get there. And maybe it still drops lower. Maybe it just kind of pins back to the zone. Maybe I should have had a higher stop. Maybe I should have took this whole area. Like 22, something like that. But that wasn't the way I was trying to play it. I was trying to play it at this structure because if it was going to come lower, then it wasn't going to break this structure, in my opinion. So that was quick, man. It happened real quick. You can see it just kind of came down, consolidated. Maybe right here as it kind of like broke up with this one right here, and then bang, just knocked it out. Whatever. choppy. Choppy, choppy, choppy. No volatility. All good. Flat week. But that's going to be it for me. It's quarter after 11. Obviously, I'm not going to trade anything else today. This might still come lower, like I said. But right now, it doesn't look great. It didn't break this trend line. Double pinned it. For now, it's still just kind of sideways in this zone. I still like it to the downside. I do. But maybe my stop wasn't good enough. Maybe it is going to come higher and I'm reading it wrong and the overall trend is kicking in. Not sure. All I know is flat on the week, up like 20 bucks. I'll go put a, fill my tank, my car. But I'm getting out of here. I hope you all have a good rest of your session. Be mindful of everything that's going on. No stream tomorrow because it's my Friday, and it is Friday, and I don't trade on Friday. I will not be here Monday either. I have to go do a video shoot. As video is starting to kick back in, I have to go do a shoot. So I'll be back Tuesday at 8:30. I'll keep you guys posted on my Instagram. And I thank you all for being on here. And CD, thank you very much. Take care, brother. I'll see you next week. And then, yeah, man, always next week. But that's it. I will catch you guys on the flip. Always appreciate you being here. And I will see you later. Peace out.